I saw the lantern at 12:14 in the morning, which I know because I looked at the truck clock when I turned onto the county road south of town. It was a Tuesday in the second week of March, and I had been at my brother's place for supper and had stayed later than I intended because my brother's wife had made a pie, and because my brother had wanted to talk about the spring planting, and because those things take the time they take. The lantern was moving. That was the first thing that told me something was wrong. A barn light stays still. A porch light stays still. A lantern moving in a field at 12:14 in the morning in March is a person in trouble. And I had been in Woodward County my whole life, and I knew what a person in a field with a moving lantern at midnight looked like and what it generally meant. I stopped the truck. The Crane property was south of the county road, 110 acres, sheep operation. Walter Crane's place before Walter died in November of '33. His daughter had been running it since then. I knew this the way I knew everything in the county, through the general information that moves through a rural county without requiring effort. And I had seen her in town at the co-op and at the feed store, and had exchanged the brief nods that constitute neighbor relations when you are on opposite sides of a county road and both too busy to do more. Her name was Iris. She was young, 25, 26. She had been running the sheep operation alone for 16 months. I got out of the truck. The cold hit me immediately. This was not the usual March cold. This was the specific cold of a snap that had come in fast, the kind that the forecast had said was coming, but it said was coming Thursday, and it was Tuesday, which meant it was 3 hours early and still dropping. The thermometer on the truck read 22 degrees, and I did not think it was done going down. 22 degrees in March with a cold snap still arriving was a lambing problem. Every sheep farmer in the county knew it. A newborn lamb in 22 degrees with a wind that was building from the northwest was a lamb that was not going to make it outside. I climbed the fence. She was 50 yards into the field with the lantern, crouching over something on the ground. As I got closer, I could see the lamb, a newborn, still wet, lying on its side. She had a blanket over it, and her hands inside the blanket, and she was talking to it in the low voice you use with animals when you are trying to keep them present. She heard me coming and looked up. In the lantern light, her face was the specific combination of exhausted and determined that I had seen before on people who have been fighting something for hours and have made the decision that they are not going to stop. Her hair was half out of whatever she had put it in, and there was something on her coat sleeve. I did not look closely. And her gray-blue eyes found me in the dark with the quick assessment of someone who has been alone in a field at midnight and has just heard boots coming through the grass. "Daniel Alderson," I said. I pointed north. "County Road." She looked at me, then at the lamb, then at the field behind her where I could now see, my eyes adjusting to the lantern light, other shapes in the grass. Lambs. A lot of lambs. "How many?" I said. 22 this week," she said. 4 already gone." She looked at the one under the blanket. "This one is—" She stopped. "Where's the barn?" I said. "North end," she said. 200 yards. "Big enough for all of them?" I said. "Yes," she said. "But I can only carry—" "I'll carry," I said. I took the lamb from under the blanket. It was cold, too cold, but still present, and held it against my coat inside the flap and looked at her. "Show me where the others are," I said. She showed me. There were 18 lambs still alive in the field. 4 she had already lost. 4 more were in the condition the one I was holding was in. Cold, unresponsive, on the wrong side of the line between here and not here. The rest were in various states between alarmed and managing, which meant they needed to be in the barn, but were not in immediate crisis. We worked. I will not make it more dramatic than it was, because what it was enough. We moved the lambs in order of need, the critical ones first, the ones that were cold and unresponsive and needed warmth immediately, and then the ones that were managing but shouldn't be outside. Iris knew which ones needed what. She had been out here for 3 hours already, which meant she had assessed every animal in the field and knew exactly its condition. I carried. She directed and carried what she could and managed the mothers, which was the harder work because the ewes did not want to be separated from their lambs and needed to be brought in too, or the lambs wouldn't nurse. It was cold. The temperature was still dropping and the wind had arrived from the northwest, and it was the specific March wind of an Oklahoma cold snap that means what it says. My coat was adequate and then not adequate, and I did not think about it because the lambs were not adequate either, and they had less choice about it. The critical 4 were the hardest. 3 of them we warmed in the barn with the heat lamp Iris had set up in the corner stall. She had set it up before she went back to the field for the second time, which told me she had been thinking ahead even while she was losing. And one of them we lost anyway, which Iris received with the specific quiet of someone who has been losing all night and has come to terms with each one individually. By 3 in the morning, the 18 surviving lambs were in the barn. By 4 in the morning, the 16 who had needed the most help were stable, nursing or sleeping or both. By 5:30, the barn had the warmth of many animals and the heat lamp, and the specific smell of a sheep barn in lambing season, which is the smell of life proceeding regardless of the temperature outside. I sat down on the barn floor at 5:30 because my legs had made the decision without consulting me. The barn floor was straw and not comfortable, and I did not care. Iris sat down beside me. We had our backs against the stall wall and the lambs were around us, and the ewes were settling, and the heat lamp was doing its work, and outside the March cold was still whatever it was, and neither of us was in it anymore. We sat there for a while without saying anything. I had been in this barn for 5 hours. I had not planned to be in this barn. I had been driving home from my brother's, and I had seen a lantern moving in a field, and I had stopped the truck and climbed a fence. And 5 hours later I was on the barn floor with 18 lambs alive around me, and a woman I had known by sight for 2 years sitting beside me. "Iris," I said. "Yes," she said. "How many did you have before the cold snap?" I said. 22 this week," she said. 41 total for the season." She was looking at the stall across from us where 3 lambs were sleeping against each other. "I had 41 before tonight. Now I have 55, I said. She looked at me. 18 tonight plus the 37 from the first 2 weeks, I said. 55. She looked at the barn, at the lambs, at the heat lamp. I would have lost all 18 of these, she said. You hadn't lost all of them yet, I said. I was losing them, she said. The ones that were still in the field, the temperature was going to... She stopped. I couldn't carry them fast enough alone. I was doing one at a time, and by the time I got back, the next one was... You didn't lose all of them, I said. She looked at her hands, at the wool gloves with the right index finger worn through. You weren't supposed to be on the county road at midnight, she said. I was at my brother's, I said. You stayed late, she said. He wanted to talk about the spring planting, I said. She was quiet. Thank your brother, she said. I'll tell him the pie made me stay, I said. She looked at me. Something happened in her expression. Not quite a laugh, not quite a smile. The predecessor of both. The specific thing that happens on a person's face at 5:30 in the morning after a night like this one, when something is slightly absurd. His wife's pie, she said. Apple, I said, with a crust that... Don't, she said. I haven't eaten since noon. There's food in my truck, I said. I brought my brother's wife's leftover pie. She looked at me. You have pie in your truck, she said. I have half a pie in my truck, I said. She makes me take food when I visit because she thinks I don't eat enough, which is not wrong. Iris looked at the barn door, at the March dark outside, at the lambs around us. I'm not going to the truck, she said. I'll go to the truck, I said. You don't have to do that, she said. I know, I said. I'm going. I went to the truck and got the pie, which was still in the dish with the foil over it, and I brought it back to the barn, and we sat on the barn floor and ate half an apple pie at 5:30 in the morning with our backs against the stall wall and the lambs sleeping around us. We did not have forks. We used our hands, which was not something either of us mentioned. "Daniel," she said. "Yes," I said. "How long have you been farming the north property?" she said. "Since 29, I said, when my father retired." 6 years, she said. "Yes," I said. "And we've spoken," she thought about it. "3 times, she said, maybe 4. "About the fence line in 32, I said. "And at the co-op when the seed order came in wrong and we had both ordered the same variety. And at the harvest social in 33, briefly." She looked at me. "You remember all of those," she said. "I remember things," I said. She was quiet for a moment. "My father died in November 33, she said, right after the harvest social." "I know," I said. "I'm sorry." "I've been running the sheep since then," she said. 16 months. "I know," I said. She looked at the lambs. "People in the county think I'm managing," she said. "I am managing. But there are nights," she paused. "There are nights like tonight when managing isn't enough, when one person isn't enough." I looked at her, at the gray-blue eyes in the barn light, more gray now in the early morning than blue, at the fair face gone ruddy from the cold and the steam of the barn, at the wool gloves with the right index finger worn through. "You needed 2 people tonight," I said. "You had 1. "And then I had 2, she said. "Yes," I said. "Because you stayed too late at your brother's," she said. "Because the pie was good," I said. She was quiet. Outside, the March dawn was beginning, the first gray suggestion of it at the edge of the barn door, the dark going slightly less dark. The lambs slept. The ewes were quiet. The heat lamp made its steady sound. "Iris," I said. "Yes," she said. "The cold is going to break today," I said. "The snap doesn't last in March. By afternoon, it'll be back above freezing." "I know," she said. "But tonight, it'll drop again," I said. "Not as bad, but below 40. "I know," she said. "You should keep them in the barn tonight," I said. "All of them. The ones that are strong enough to be in the field tomorrow can go out tomorrow afternoon. But tonight—" "I know," she said. "I was going to." "I know you were," I said. "I was just talking," she said. "Yes," I said. She looked at me. The gray-blue eyes with the specific quality they had, the steadiness of a woman who has been making decisions alone for 16 months and knows her own mind. "Daniel," she said. "Yes," I said. "It's morning," she said. "I know," I said. "You have a farm to go to," she said. "I do," I said. "And I have a barn to manage," she said. "You do," I said. Neither of us moved. The lambs slept around us. The heat lamp made it sound. Outside, the March dawn was arriving in the specific way of a cold March dawn, slowly, without commitment, the light coming in gray before it came in anything else. "Iris," I said. "Yes," she said. "When does the next lambing group come in?" I said. She looked at the barn. "I have 12 ewes due in the next 2 weeks," she said. "The main group is in 3 weeks." "The main group," I said. "How many?" 28, she said. "It's the largest group of the season." I looked at the barn, at the stalls and the lambs and the setup she had built, the heat lamp, the stall partition, the water system she had rigged. It was a good setup. It was a single-person setup, which was also the limit of it. "I'll come for the main group," I said. She looked at me. "You don't have to do that," she said. "I know," I said. "It's 28 ewes," she said. In the worst case, that's 28 lambs in a night, maybe more if there are twins. I know what it is, I said. It could be a long night, she said. Like tonight. I know, I said. She looked at me for a long moment. The gray-blue eyes in the barn morning light. Something was in them, the same something that had been in her expression when she first looked up and found me in the field at 12:14 in the morning. The quick assessment, but different now, after 5 hours in the same barn, carrying the same lambs, eating pie off the same dish in the dark. You'll come at midnight? She said. I'll come at 10, I said. We should be set up before they start. 10 o'clock, she said. In 3 weeks, I said. In 3 weeks, she said. She stood up from the barn floor, more slowly than she would have at midnight, the body having given up its urgency now that the urgency was past. She stood and brushed the straw from her coat and looked at the barn, at the 55 lambs in it now, at the ewes, at the heat lamp, at the setup that it held, and her expression was the specific expression of someone who has been through something and is standing on the other side of it and is taking stock. 55, she said. 55, I said. She looked at me, the corners of her mouth. Daniel Alderson, she said. Iris Crane, I said. You climbed my fence at midnight, she said. You had a lantern in the field, I said. I did, she said. I was losing the lambs. You didn't lose them, I said. I didn't lose them, she said. She walked to the barn door and looked at the March dawn. The light was gray and cold, and the field was frost white in it, and the tracks from the night's work were visible in the frost. Back and forth, the paths of 2 people moving lambs in the dark. Thank your brother, she said, for the pie. I'll tell him it was critical agricultural infrastructure, I said. She made the sound. This time it was the full one, the laugh, real and specific and slightly surprised by itself. The laugh of a woman who has been through a night like this and has found at the end of it something she was not expecting to find. I drove home at 6:15. I sat in my truck at the gate of my property and looked at the March dawn going from gray to the first pale gold of a March morning that is going to warm up, the way March mornings do when the cold has spent itself and is retreating. My farm was there, the house, the barn, the wheat fields, the fences, all of it exactly as I had left it when I drove to my brother's at 5 o'clock the previous afternoon. I thought about the lambs, about the cold at 2 in the morning and the weight of a lamb carried under a coat, and the specific exhaustion of 5 hours of work you were not prepared for. About Iris Crane at 5:30 with apple pie eaten without a fork, and gray-blue eyes that had been making decisions alone for 16 months. About 3 weeks. I went inside and made coffee and looked at the calendar. The main lambing group, 28 ewes, was due in 3 weeks, which put it in the first week of April. I looked at my own schedule for the first week of April, which was the spring planting preparation, the most critical week of the farming year. I moved some things around. In 3 weeks, I drove to the Crane property at 10 in the evening, and Iris was already in the barn checking the ewes, and she looked up when I came in and said, "You came." And I said I would. The first lambs came at 11:15. We worked through the night. It was not like the cold snap. The temperature was manageable, and the barn was warm and we had prepared, which made a significant difference. We worked through the night, and by 4 in the morning, 23 lambs were alive in the barn, healthy and nursing and present in the world, and the ewes were settled, and the barn was full of the sound and warmth of a lambing season going the way it was supposed to go. I sat down on the barn floor at 4 in the morning. Iris sat down beside me. 23, she said. 23, I said. The barn was warm. Outside, the April morning was coming in the way April mornings come in Oklahoma, with the particular smell of thawing soil and new grass that is the specific smell of a season arriving. Through the barn door, the sky was going from black to the deep blue that comes before dawn. "Daniel," she said. "Yes," I said. "Last time," she said, "you said you'd come for the main group." "Yes," I said. "You came," she said. "I said I would," I said. She was quiet. The lambs made the sounds that newborn lambs make. The ewes answered. The barn was full of life that had not been in it 6 hours ago. "After this group," she said, "there are 8 more ewes due in May." I looked at her. The gray-blue eyes in the April barn light. The dark blonde hair that had been in a hasty knot at the start of the night and was long since down, lying against her shoulder. The fair complexion gone the warm gold of someone who has been working in close, warm air for 6 hours. 8 in May, I said. "It's a smaller group," she said. "I could probably manage alone." "Yes," I said, "probably." She looked at the lambs. "But you could come," she said, "if you wanted." I looked at her, at the barn floor and the lambs around us and the April dawn coming through the door and the 16 months she had been doing this alone and the 2 nights we had spent in this barn now and the specific quality of being on a barn floor at 4 in the morning with someone and finding that the barn floor is where you want to be. "I'll come," I said, "for the May group." "May," she said. "May," I said. She leaned her head back against the stall wall. She closed her eyes for a moment, not sleeping, just resting, the specific rest of a body that has been working hard and has been given a moment to be still. I looked at her for a moment, at the dark blonde hair against the stall wall and the closed eyes and the gray blue of them when they opened again and found me looking. She did not say anything about the looking. "Daniel," she said. "Yes," I said. "Come for supper on Thursday," she said. "Not lambing, just supper. I want to talk to you when we're not both carrying lambs." "Thursday," I said. 6 o'clock, she said. 6 o'clock, I said. The April dawn arrived fully through the barn door. The lambs slept. The ewes were quiet. Somewhere outside, a bird was starting, which was the specific thing that happens in Oklahoma in April when the sun comes up. The birds beginning before the light is fully there, as if they know it is coming and are not going to wait. "Iris," I said. "Yes," she said. 55 lambs, I said, from March, and 23 from last night. That's 78. She was quiet, calculating. "My father's best season was 81, she said. I looked at her. 8 in May, I said. She looked at me, the gray-blue eyes and the April barn dawn and the 78 lambs asleep around us. 8 in May, she said. 86, I said. Something arrived in her expression. Not quite a laugh, not quite tears. She was not a crying woman, I had come to understand. And the not crying had its own quality, the specific composure of a woman who feels things fully and does not require their expression to be dramatic. Just the expression, open and warm, and something that had been building since March and had arrived. 86, she said. Your father's record, I said. Past it, she said. Yes, I said, past it. We sat on the barn floor in the April morning, and the lambs were around us, and the May group was 3 weeks away, and Thursday supper was 2 days away, and outside the Oklahoma April was doing what it does, which is arrive like a promise after the cold and mean every word of it. I drove home at 7. I made coffee. I looked at the calendar. Thursday was circled. Not by me. I do not circle things on calendars. It is not a habit I have. But when I looked at it, I understood that it was circled in the way things are circled when they have been decided. The March cold snap had come in 3 hours early. I'd been at my brother's too late because of a pie. The lambs were alive. Thursday was 2 days away. Some things work out the way they work out, not in spite of the complications, but because of them. Because the pie was good and the snap came early, and a lantern was moving in a field at midnight, and someone stopped the truck. The complications were not obstacles. They were the story. They were how you got from a county road at 12:14 in the morning to a barn floor at 7 in the morning with 78 lambs alive, and Thursday circled on a calendar you did not circle yourself. I drank the coffee. Thursday came.